everybody. So this is my new show, Hold the Throne. All right, now let's talk a little bit about that title. Well, first let me introduce myself. I will be your host, Deontay Young, or actually call me D Lamar because that's my stage name. Hold the Throne is basically saying that we're gonna make it eventually. This is a show about musicians and artists, people that haven't quite yet made it there yet. Up and coming artists, but not just up and coming artists, more so up and coming artists who have been up and coming for a really long time, like myself. So I obviously love making music. I have a passion for music itself. I've been listening to music since I can remember, and I'm talking 3-4 years old. You know what I mean? Some of my earliest musical influences were there was four. So Michael Jackson, of course, Michael Jackson. I was born in 1981, which is also the year MTV started, which, I mean, that has to mean something. It was started August 1st, 1981. Yeah. Hey. Michael Jackson, New Edition, Prince, and here's a wild card, Boy George. Yes, Boy George. He had a song, he was like the "Do You Really Want to Hurt Me" one, and I thought that was just such like a great song. But also, I remember seeing this guy in what I thought was a costume when I was a kid. He was a man dressed like a woman, walking around, singing and just vibing. Just chilling. I didn't know where he was. I just knew he was singing his music and loving it, and people was happy. And the song was just good. Then we have somebody, Prince, like just an amazing artist. Like he was magical. He could just do all types of music and play all types of instruments is what I really would say. And he was just great at it. I remember hearing When Doves Cry, and that beat was just booming, just banging, just like from the guitar, everything. And again, I'm talking like being young, you know what I'm saying? Like, good Lord, he was just great, right? And I had an aunt that really liked Prince. I remember making jokes about him, being super sexual. Not knowing what sexual meant, but, and that's not even the correct words that was used. I'm just saying, like, I remember her talking about his butt being out and wearing high heels, whatever. But also Purple Rain, the movie, I remember seeing that at a really young age and just being like, this is just great. Like, it's rock and roll. It's partying. Like, this is great. But then we had New Edition, which was like my real influence. Like, I loved everything they did, period. I just thought they were just amazing. They were young. Obviously, they were still older than me, but I saw them as kids, and I was just like, good Lord, they're just awesome. I should think Ralph Tresvant was like my dad, because I thought he looked like me, and he actually did look like my actual dad. Not saying I, thought they were the same person, but I was like, hey, that could be my dad. Like, hey. Anyway, then we have Michael Jackson. Just an amazing artist. Like, overall. Thing that, made him different than them was he had actual, I was about to say artifacts, but I mean, he had like the glove that you could go buy. He had the jacket that you could go buy somewhere. Like you could, you couldn't touch Michael Jackson, but you could touch the stuff that he had. Like you couldn't walk up to him and say hi, but you could go get that glove, or you could get his poster. Like he was just that big at that time, and it was just like I remember like Thriller was one of my favorite songs, but I'm actually afraid to listen to it to this day by myself. I've told that story many times, but it's true. But Michael Jackson was just amazing. Like I think he had like one of the first videos on MTV, or like one of the first black videos. That was on MTV and all that. So, but anyway, that's some of my early influences as far as like what I liked. But then, got other stuff like from your parents and aunts and cousins and stuff like that. Like my mom used to listen to Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. She liked X Clan. I mean, that was obviously a little bit older. Well, not even like super old, but I'm talking like, in elementary, not 4 and 5 anymore. But, she used to listen to stuff like that. Then, you have Anita Baker, and you have Sade, and you have, who else? I remember hearing Karen White on the radio with the Superwoman song, and I was just hearing Superwoman. I wasn't hearing all the stuff she was doing. And when I started kind of thinking like, oh, she's talking about, all the stuff she does in the house. I remember something about getting orange juice or something, and I just loved orange juice ever since then. But music has always touched and influenced my whole entire life. I actually started writing about, I don't want to say it's my memoirs, but I started writing about how music, was around in certain points and periods in my life. So one day I'll finish that. One day I'll finish that. I don't know. I think about 40 pages in, but hey, I'll get it one day. But again, yeah, this show will be about why we do what we do and what keeps us doing that over and over. Why when we continue to fail, and not even really fail, but why when this opportunity doesn't, come through, or, this situation doesn't take you to where you thought it was, what makes us say, oh, I'll just get back in the studio and do it again. So that's what this will really be about. And I want to talk about, so before I started checking this, before I started recording this, I checked my TuneCore stats and my sales. So I check it, and I see $45. That's new. A new $45 popped up. And I'm like, oh, shoot, somebody listening? What's going on? Am I getting a lot of streams all of a sudden? And I check, and it's actually my fourth quarter royalty publishing royalties. I'm all backwards. And I'm like, oh, cool. That's, it's not a lot for publishing royalties, but hey, it's some extra money. But it makes me always think like, why am I not getting more? What does it take? Because a lot of times what we'll do as artists, we'll throw out a clip. Y'all know that. You see it on Facebook and Instagram, and you say, this is a cool song. I can't wait till the real one comes out. Or you might even just like it just because you see the face. Or you like the cover art, the album cover art or whatever. When's it dropping? You say, oh, it's coming soon. Or we already tell you, it's coming soon. You hear it in the stories. You see it on Facebook. And, recently I dropped a little sample of a song that's out now, but somebody hit me in my inbox and was like, amazing voice. And I'm like, thanks. And, I wasn't about to give it a commercial and be like, hey, make sure you listen to the real thing when it comes out, because you kind of think that's going to happen anyway. So when it does drop, where are those listeners? They're nowhere. What will happen is, a few days go by after the song comes out, as an artist, I get really excited. I've already listened to it in the speakers in the studio. I've listened to it in the car. When it gets mastered, I'm bumping it, I'm playing it. But when it releases on Spotify and Tidal and Apple and all these places and YouTube, it's like now I got to listen to it on each of those platforms. I got to hear it. I got to put the headphones on. I got to put it in the car. I got to play it on the big speakers again. And I do that maybe 5, 6, maybe 10 times, maybe, on, covering all the sources or whatever, all the platforms. And then, you want to check your stats. It's been about 3 days, 5 days, a week. You check your stats, and guess what? It shows 10 plays. And you're like, those are all mine. I listened to that 10 times. So I've shared the links. I've messaged a few people. Few people have messaged me. The cover art is amazing. You got a comment or two, but nobody actually listens to the music. And you wonder, well, it is good. It's high quality. But nobody's listening. That'll always be a mystery to me because then people will go ahead and click, you know, the new whatever else. And that's fine because, of course, if I see a new Eminem video, I'm going to click it. Of course, I get it. We know Eminem. We know this just popped in my head, Drew Hill. Obviously, Drew Hill ain't got nothing new. Maybe they do. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But that popped in my head because if they were to drop something today, they have a fan base. I get that. People are going to, you know, gravitate to it and click it. They're going to be like, oh, shoot, Drew Hill. But what about the people who don't have a record label, never had a record label, but are actually talented? And that's what I like to try to figure out. Somebody reached out to me and said they want to start a Spotify support group for artists like myself. So, everybody just drops their music and, click like on it, add it to playlists, things like that. And, I've paid to be on playlists and stuff like that. And, I'll see the streams go up, but it's just like once that month of promotion is over, they go right back down. So it's like, is this fake? Like, I'm not trying to get fake streams. I want to pay to promote myself because obviously you have to pay to promote yourself. But, whatever. Saying all that just to say, we try, listen to the music, check it out. But also, there's been times where there's also a company called Song Trader. And I've gotten licensed through Song Trader before. I'll tell you this story real quick, too. So what happens is, same way I found TuneCore, when I was like, how do I distribute my music? I don't know how to do this. I'm doing it all by myself. I searched it, and I wanted to be licensed to, like, TV shows and movies and, video games even possibly. So what happens is I started getting these, I started, putting my songs on this platform to be considered for opportunities. Eventually, they respond and it's like, nope. Get a bunch of no's. And then one day, out of the blue, you've been shortlisted. And I'm like, I know what shortlisted means, but what does it mean to them, right? So I'm like, okay. They got me on this list where now they're either going to move me ahead or they're going to be like, nah, this one isn't for you. And what happened is, a few times, they moved me forward. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to be rich. I just got licensed like 10, licensed to 10 things. Cool, right? I got put in like some apps. I got put in some in-store music, playlists where, you go to the mall, you hear the music playing over the speakers, or you go into the store, the bakery, whatever, and you hear the music playing. That's just coming from some feed, and I was put on a few of those. So the payouts, I'm like, okay, multiply this times that. And I'm like telling my brother, and I'm like, I'll probably get paid this amount. Payouts don't come for like 6 months to a year, possibly. The first one came, and I was like, and it was like $30. And I'm like, that doesn't seem right. I know they take their part, the platform takes theirs, but I'm like, okay, whatever, But it's not about just the money. It's about the exposure and doing what you love. And so that takes me to, we have a lot of artists right now who will literally say in interviews, oh yeah, I just started rapping like, last year or, a few months ago. I put my song on SoundCloud and, it just hit. And now I'm not going to take nothing away from people, from artists like that because they've tapped into what society wants, right? That's amazing. That's great. But what does bother me is that they don't really love music like that. They don't really care. But they just do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not mad that people, get themselves out of a situation where they maybe needed to make this song to get paid. That's amazing. That's great. So great to all of you that can just drop a song and put it on SoundCloud and make money. But I don't think I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I have to really love what I do when it comes to music because, like I said, it's ingrained in me. It's just what I do. I remember listening to music every day before I go to school. When I'm walking home, if I'm not with somebody, these headphones are in my ear. Coming home, first thing I do when I get in, pop the tape in, boom, music's playing while I do my homework, whatever. If I'm playing video games, I'm turning the video game down and I'm listening to music. So that's just what I do. Honestly, lately I don't listen to as much as I used to, but that's just because I got other stuff going on. I have a job, I work, um, and I've been getting into a lot of TV shows and movies, so still a good mix. But if I'm taking a shower, if I'm hopping in the car, for a while it was Audible and podcasts, but now I'm getting back to like I need to hear that music banging, and especially mine. Now I've been dropping some music. I had to just build this whole studio up in here because my engineer said he was taking a break, and I was just in that space of I have to make music. So got a computer, got some this bundle, studio bundle, got a free trial for Logic Pro. Got like 30 more days on that, so I'm gonna keep on cranking some stuff out. But I will be buying it. I paid for a monthly subscription for Auto Tune, and we can talk about Auto Tune too because a lot of people don't really understand it. That everybody uses it. Pretty much 90% plus of people that you could even think of use Auto Tune. It's not for what you think it is. But so I just started doing it myself. Ultimately, I was like, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? It's not as high quality as I would like it to be, but it doesn't hurt your ears when you listen to it. So, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be put on the radio anytime soon, but I do plan on, once things start getting back to normal. I don't mean like the pandemic, but I mean like once, I can go back to the studio and record with him. I might re-record these songs. That's how much I love doing it. I look at all of this as practice, So I have a drum set that I bought for my son that he used twice maybe. I think I made him use it 2 more times. And then I got a keyboard, a Rolly Seaboard keyboard, like beat making, kind of thing or whatever. I don't know how to play instruments, but guess what? I'm learning, I've always been interested in playing the guitar, but guitars cost a little more money. I don't want to just get some money. I don't know what I'm doing. So learning the piano is one thing that, you can do. Get you a little keyboard or something like that, a cheap one, $50 at the most, and they don't have all the keys, but they have enough for you to practice. So there's a program called Melodies. And shout out to Melodies. It teaches you how to play music. I'm not going to go too into depth because I'm not getting paid by Melodies yet. But check it out. No, go to melodics.com or whatever, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. But again, this show that I'm creating, that I'm putting out to the world, again, it's for artists. It's just for us to talk. A lot of times, I have my podcast also, but I'm very conversational. So yeah, there will be some, specific questions, but really I want to get into conversations with great artists. You know what I mean? That's what I really want to do. And that's what I will do. So I had put this out on, actually speaking of Auto-Tune, and Terrace, I hope I'm saying that right. I was on there, they had a post on Instagram, and sometimes you do this, you play around or whatever, you post your music under it and stuff like that or whatever. And so what I did was I posted, I'm going to start a TV show, a show on YouTube or wherever about music artists that are up and coming. And I just left it. I didn't even think about it. I was like, I really did it and forgot. And so I didn't have a name for this show. I didn't know what I was going to do. But a few days ago, I got hit up by somebody that saw that, and she was like, oh, this looks amazing. I would love to be on it. So I'm like, uh-oh, I guess I got to get to work, right? So I'd actually had this name hold the throne for another show that I wanted to do years ago. It was going to be an adult sitcom about, 2 roommates that were procrastinators. But obviously I don't have an award-winning show yet, so, this name popped in my head, and I wasn't going to use it, but I was like, I can't think of anything else. Actually, I did think of another one. I wanted to call it Musically Motivated, but that seemed a little, generic. I'm pretty sure there's something out there called that already, without even Googling it. So I was like, all right, so I hit her up, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't even have, I haven't started it yet, but I will be letting you know what's up. So I said, you know what? I also need to do a quick intro show. like a pilot kind of like thing. Let me talk about what I got going on and what I want this show to be about. So this is what this is. So I hope that whoever, tunes in, can be musically motivated and also know that there's no age limit on your passion. I know that used to be a thing and a stigma, but it's not anymore. If you're great at what you do, continue to do it. Keep doing it. This isn't about being discovered or, becoming rich and famous off of it. This is literally about having discussions with real artists. And, eventually, yeah, we would love to make money off of what we do. But, this is about fun. It's about having a passion and meeting people that feel the same way. That's what this is all about. So, we definitely need the support. You know what I'm saying? We see y'all, liking our stuff. Then we check our stats. We check the stats to see if you've actually listened. We don't want it to just be us anymore, people. We want to share our talents with you. So, yeah. And if you can see on either of my sides, each of my sides, I was trying to get fancy with my terminology, but you see Donald Glover, Childish Gambino on the wall, definitely an influence. And now, then we have the great Colin Malloy. So we got Gambino the Great and the great Colin Malloy. Colin Malloy is from a band called the Decemberists. I've been listening to them now forever. I don't even know how long. I saw their CD cover. I saw their CD in a Starbucks. It was The Crane Wife. And I was like, oh, this cover just looks great, and it's probably cool CD. So I bought it, and I've been a fan ever since. Colin Malloy is the lead singer. What side am I on? This poster is actually from a live show that he did this year. Streamed it, obviously. And I'd never been to a Decemberists concert. Actually, if I ever got married, I've always said I want Decemberists to perform out in the woods by a lake while I'm getting married, and they can play whatever, all of their hits, but, throw in some requests. They're a great band. They have lots of instruments. They do a lot. Childish Gambino was on Community, as most people know. I was on Facebook, and I saw his, I saw this little, thumbnail, and it said Childish Gambino, but it was Donald Glover. And I was like, wait, that's Troy from Community. And this was like 2011, I think. And I was like, he makes music? Who is this? I downloaded pretty much everything he had at the time, meaning all of his mixtapes in his first album, Camp, and I've been a fan since. I literally listened to him the entire night, blown away, to where the next day I was actually going to be moving, and I had, I don't know if it was the next day, but like in a little few days after that, I was going to be moving. And so I had my cousin came over and another friend, and they were just like, wow, like, yeah, I don't know, I never heard this guy, but he's amazing. And so if I ever get into an argument with you where I'm defending him, just know this is deep rooted. But anyway, I love Childish Gambino. But so I want more posters. I need a John Mayer poster. I need a Post Malone poster, and I need a Coheed and Cambria poster. The whole band, or Claudio Sanchez. I need a Tupac one, and I need an Eminem one, and I don't know who else. Who else should I get? Whoever it is, if you are an artist, a painter, whatever, hook me up. Do that. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it on the wall, or if you just want to buy it, you can do that too. But send it to me. If you're really serious, I'll give you the information. But eventually, I'm gonna have these walls filled with the artists that inspire me. But anyway, this is the first episode. I can't wait to have that first guest on here. If you know of somebody, or if you are somebody, hit me up in my comments. And we're gonna do this. Hold the throne. Coming at you. I am your host, D Lamar, and I'm done for now. But we're gonna do this.